forget to tell you, episode 41.
Is it already?
Yeah.
Episode 41. Hi. Steve.
Hi, Steve.
What's happening? What's popping? What's crack-a-lacking? All right. So
that's really intense. I'm waiting for her to call.
You're waiting for Karen to call in.
Yeah.
Okay. And then can you figure that out while I just deal with this real quick?
So, bye, Auntie Jill. Okay, so Karen is going to call. She had an experience at the day program with her mom who also has Alzheimer's. She's had it for the last 5 years, and she was going to call in to discuss that experience. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to call her or if she's going to call in, but we'll wait. So yeah, basically, there's a day program, and I'm not sure. I want to know from her perspective. My mom used to go to the day program as well. When she first was diagnosed, she went there 3 days a week, and I'm not sure at the process now. I thought there was a waiting list, but she's gonna probably fill us in on how that process is in today's, because that was like, I think, maybe 15 years ago that my mom was at that day program. Or maybe I'll just call her. Let's see. How's your week going while we wait?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
You're on.
Oh, okay.
I just kind of gave a brief introduction about how your mom, we were talking about the day program. I didn't really know too much, but you're going to fill us in on like the process now. Like, I'm not sure because my mom went such a long time ago, so I don't know.
Right. Okay, so you said you already did a brief intro?
Yeah, that you were coming on to explain
Okay.
a little bit about the process and what happened. Yeah.
Okay, so hi everybody. Just to recap, my mom was diagnosed in October of 2013, so we're coming on 5 years. I can't even believe it's been 5 years, because sadly that could mean that she has 5 more years left.
No, that's not what it means.
Since some people succumb to the disease at around 10 years. But anyways, we're talking about day programs. So we've tried before to get my mom to participate in the Alzheimer's Run Day program. But because she's an early onsetter and a beautiful woman of color, she looks very young. She knows she looks young. And she just did not feel that the other participants in the program were in her age group. So like Karen's mom, my mom is a nurse. And so she saw people who were, honestly, they're looking like they're 80, 85. A lot were nonverbal, in chairs, sitting down. So it really was not an ideal environment for a still very physically able and vibrant early onsetter. So we tried that maybe 3-4 years ago, and my mom was on the waiting list for another day program. Now this one was not inside of an Alzheimer's Society facility. It was inside of a local long-term care facility.
Oh.
So, right. So we got the call, and they had a spot, and we had to go with her notice of assessment to see if she qualified for a subsidy, her health card, and something.
So that's, I think, what's different, because back when my mom went, there was, obviously you have to do the health card and stuff, but I mean, wasn't in terms of income, like you
Yeah.
you automatically qualified.
Well, I think you qualify, but I think you have to pay. And honestly, you'll understand why I don't know much because it didn't go very well.
Okay.
So I think it's usually if someone's pension is like under 20,000, usually then they qualify for a subsidy. So that would be someone who, probably wasn't a professional person with a good pension. So really somebody who was on social assistance or ODSP, obviously those folks would automatically qualify for a subsidy based on their income level.
So you're basically telling me now this is income based?
Well, I think we would have to pay like maybe $20-$40 a day.
Yeah, my mom had. My mom had to pay. Yeah.
But if you have a subsidy, obviously it would be reduced.
Okay.
Right? And what that would be, I'm not sure. So the meeting was last week Tuesday, and I got stuck in a little bit of traffic. I was meeting my parents there. My dad was taking my mom, and it was at a place where they go for a geriatric exercise program, part of the LIN's fall prevention program. So it's just a room full of seniors, mostly sitting in chairs, doing exercises to keep folks active. So it's a facility my mom is used to going to.
Okay.
But on last week Tuesday, I guess they went into a separate door, and it was for the day program. So they started to give my parents a tour. And I'm not sure what the lady Irene was saying, but my mom got extremely agitated and was trying to get out of the place. Now this is a locked facility, but when I got to the door, I could see my dad pulling my mom because she's trying to like run out of the building. So when I punched the code and I got in, she got out. So my dad went out, and then I spoke to the staff there, and I got the tour, and the place looked nice, and some of the folks did look like they fell within my mom's age group, but there were a couple of folks with walking aids. But what was most shocking to me was when I was speaking to the lady, she said, well, your mom said that she's 30, my mom's 72, turning 73. She told the woman, I'm 30 years old, I'm a nurse, why would I need to come here? And then the lady turns to me and says, oh, well, we couldn't have your mom here at all. She would need to be medicated. I think she needs more meds. She's too strong for us. We couldn't handle her.
She said that in front of your mom?
No, not in front of my mom. My mom had run out the door. But I thought, like, hello world, my mom is an early onsetter, which means, yes, she's still physically able. Like, she's 72, and she looks 65. And so, yeah, she's in good physical health. So, yeah, that means she's still strong, and she can still move quickly. She doesn't shuffle. And you're telling me that you would only take my mom back if I gave her meds to make her numb. So she was no longer herself. Like, that's the support that's there for early onsetters. I was just shocked to be standing there and have someone tell me,
so basically,
your mom needs more meds if she wants to come here.
Basically, you can't have these symptoms of Alzheimer's to be in the Alzheimer day program.
Pretty much, yeah. That's a very good way to put it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that was the bust.
So who went after your mom?
Oh, well, she didn't go very far. After I got the mini tour, my parents were sitting in the car waiting for me. My mom was very upset. And, she just thought that my dad was trying to put her in a home. And it's funny because when I first engaged with the Alzheimer Society of Canada, I asked them, I remember calling them and saying, why do all your supports for folks with Alzheimer's happen in long-term care facilities? because people are anxious,
Yeah.
right? So your day program is in a place that says long-term care. Like, why don't they have, find community spaces like a recreation center where someone is not going to feel like you're secretly, because of, there's so much paranoia, you're secretly trying to put them in care behind their back.
Yeah.
It's very, like, my mom would do well in a program. My dad deserves the break of her being in a program, but programs don't meet her needs. And I'm not going to dope my mom up just so she can sit somewhere doing nothing.
I wish they put that in writing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was shocked.
Well, trying to play devil's advocate, is it because they have a lack of staff to maybe control early onset patients that are active and wanting to run and wanting to do those type of things? Like, if it's one person per se, I don't know, 20 patients that are
Right.
kind of sedated and older and just playing cards or just doing exercises or whatever, that's not really high maintenance, versus you get like a couple of, early onset patients like your mom, where they have to have active staff that can actually deal with that type of outburst or reaction. Could it be something like that, where they just don't have the staff or the facility to maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out why that would happen.
Wait, but here's the thing. You're a long-term care facility. You should have the staff.
I understand, but I'm saying in terms of when you were there with your experience, did it look like they had like an accurate number of people there working?
I saw a couple of people. Like, it was hard to tell because the staff who were working there probably looked 50-ish. So, to be honest, hard to really tell who was the staff and who wasn't. So I did see maybe 2 staff, but I have to say that this woman who was in charge of the program, she literally looked, and my mom, like, wasn't violent, but she looked shooken up.
Right.
Right? Like, she looked shooken up. And I've spent my professional career working in the shelter system with folks who are experiencing homelessness, and we've had many folks in there with varying degrees of concurrent disorders, mental health, addictions, and dementias, and we were able to handle it. We were always able to handle situations, and I just don't understand why there seems to be this fear, and I believe that the staff in long-term care facilities are properly trained, they're highly educated, and I think it is just a cop-out, to be honest. Because if you try to get a homeless person into a long-term care bed, they would say, well, they have behaviors associated with their homelessness, and then they would not want to accept them. And I think this is the same thing. It's just happening with early onsetters. And there's no excuse, because when one part of the system fails to provide service, why is it always another part that's getting paid less money, always able to do the job? So I just don't understand.
Definitely frustrating. Those are some great points to actually bring up and, maybe try and figure out the answers to those questions.
Was there a waiting list? Because my understanding is
there was a waiting list. We were on the waiting list for a while.
Like how long would you say?
Maybe a year.
Oh, wow.
This is what people don't know.
Wow. So what do they expect you to do within that year? Like, just kind of entertain your mom?
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah.
So
on you. That's
I called her Lynn worker.
Which is the local integrated health network for people.
And I said, my dad needs PSW support. So here's the thing, because my dad is a young 73, when they come and they see him, doing okay, because he is, but not 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? So they've never qualified for PSW supports because my dad when they're here for the 1 hour, everything looks good.
So just so that everyone's aware, typically when you have a loved one that has dementia or Alzheimer's or any varying illnesses, you could qualify for help. That a personal support worker will come to your house and help with bathing and feeding and things like that. But the issue is, like Karen's mentioning, is if you have someone that's in the house that they feel is able-bodied to assist and do those jobs, you won't qualify for those hours, which is what Karen's saying.
Right.
So it falls right back on her dad.
Right. So now we have the lady coming in on Monday, this week Monday, to do another assessment. And so after my mom had the experience at the day program, we then get a call for a bed in a long-term care facility.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And so we only really want one location, but we put down, I think, 2 or 3, I can't remember. And we really only want a private room. And this was for a semi, but it was like for 24 hours, my dad's like white as a ghost, doesn't know what to do. My mom is, she's not there yet, but it's just with this disease, it's so scary because you don't know when it's gonna change.
Yeah.
And become much harder, right? And so you're almost scared to say no because you don't know when the next call will be.
And how long were you on that waiting list? The same time?
I think about a year and a half, but it's because we picked an area out in Dufferin County, so in a small community where most people don't want to go.
So let's recap, right? It's a year for a day program to get your loved one in a day program, waiting list in Peel. And I think that's across the board. I think that's Ontario. And a year and a half for a long-term care home, and that's in Dufferin County. And I'm sure it's longer because I heard it's like 3 years.
Yeah, she said she was shocked that we got the call, but it was only because it's Dufferin County, so it's really like Shelburne, Dundalk, Orangeville. It's places that, the only people who are putting down those areas are people who live in those areas.
Right.
So that was the only reason, because we're also on the wait list in Orangeville, and we're way down on the list there.
Yeah.
But, it's 24 hours to decide.
So,
right?
What, you got the call when?
We got the call, I think it was Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's 24 hours to decide. And so the call comes to me. So then I'm trying to call my dad to talk, but, my mom, all phone calls have to be on speakerphone. So I actually had to, drive over and bring my kids to distract my mom so my dad and I could talk. And, and then I asked him, can you do this for another year? And he said, he thinks so. And I just hope that not much changes in the bulk of that next year. Because it's, he's looking exhausted.
It's a lot of stress on him.
It is a lot of stress on him.
And at that age, that's dangerous because they're super fragile as they get older. It's like they think they can handle it, but
well, he already had health concerns.
My dad has never had problems with blood pressure until he started caring for my mom, and his aorta ruptured when he just happened to be in the hospital. So he almost died last year, and he's never had high blood pressure in his whole life. He actually has low blood pressure, and it was high. And like I said, his aorta ruptured. When they opened him up in the hospital, his chest cavity was full of blood from the stress.
So why is this even a question in terms of
the PSW?
Whether he can do this another year or not? That shouldn't even be up for an option. That should just...
You know what? The system is so broken because the limb everybody knew that my dad was in the hospital. I emailed everybody saying this is what happened. And I then took off 2 weeks of work to care for my mom because my dad was in the hospital. And, I didn't want to put her, get a respite bed because she wanted to care for her husband. She wanted to visit her husband in hospital. So we just kind of made it work. But...
So think about the team that your mom has, which not everyone has access to. Because you're a little bit, obviously, being in human services, you have a little bit more knowledge than the average person.
Right.
Second of all, so it's your dad who is navigating, and he's on the front line, right?
Right.
And then you're there in the back still advocating and kind of on the front line too. But the average person doesn't have this team, and you're still having issues
Absolutely.
with all of that going on.
Absolutely.
So,
no.
It's just...
I don't understand, maybe 20 years ago.
I know, when my mom... I can't believe you're going through similar things.
Yeah.
18 years in.
Yep.
Wow. So nothing has changed, really.
Not much has changed. I don't know, we see the neurologist, gerontologist, I think we're down to maybe once a year now. Because, they just say, well, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
It's progressive. Do you need to insure?
Yeah. Yeah.
That they just push the insure. And that's about it. That's it.
Okay, so again, not playing devil's advocate or anything like that, but what would the two of you suggest that they do? Since you said not much has changed in 18 years, and these are the issues that you're having right now, Karen. So in this moment, to try and find the solution, what would have to be put in place or happening for you guys to feel like, okay, there's a solution going on, there's some progression happening, there's steps being followed, what would have to be going on?
Well, for me, I think that the research has already been done. We have an aging population, and the stats are out. We know that lots of people are going to be having dementia.
And you're going to be it's a sad reality, but either you're going to have it or you're going to it's going to affect you in some way,
right.
Personally.
Absolutely. And I think that we have to look at our communities. I think we have to think about our aging population. I think that day programs, places like that need to be embedded in our parks and rec type things, in our libraries and spaces where we're not necessarily segregating, because for an early onsetter, they don't need to be segregated from society. They just need to be in places that are safe, places where if they get upset or agitated, that they can't leave, right? That's all we need. And these places don't need to be in a long-term care facility, because that's the one thing that I'm sure almost every person with Alzheimer's at some point is going to fear.
Yeah.
And so why is that where we're sending them for their day program? It's backwards.
Yeah.
It's backwards. We need...
They say, and it's so funny, because the irony is, the research states that that's why it's so important for somebody with early onset to have a schedule and a routine and a familiar place. But then we want to take them out of that place and put them in an unfamiliar, institutionalized place.
Right.
And not think that they're going to be confused and react.
And then if you think about, if we're trying to change, we need to be communities that care about one another, right? Because we're all aging.
Yeah.
There's so many great places where they have daycares, where, the daycare, young people interact with seniors. Why are we taking a vibrant group of folks with some cognitive challenges or dementias? They can go in a community space and do some exercise.
Yeah.
They can be in a library.
Yeah, I agree.
we have a lot of these places, or like the infrastructure is already there. I mean, how many times do you go to a community center in the daytime and all their spaces are not being used except for in the summer when they have summer camps, because everyone's at school and at work, and so those rooms are used for programming in the evening. But in the daytime, I know Loafers Lake, the rooms are empty.
Mm-hmm.
So the infrastructure is there. We just need to, everyone needs to wrap their brain around providing compassionate care for someone with dementia. And then the benefit, obviously, is the caregiver finally gets a break.
Yeah, to get the respite care. Yeah.
And even if the caregiver is just in a space with their loved one, it could be doing crafts or watching a movie or something. I mean, that person also needs a break from their home, because at some point when you're caring for someone, it means you never leave your home.
Exactly.
And so your home is starting to feel like a prison to you because you can't leave it.
Yeah.
My dad he takes my mom to Tim Hortons and back because I know he's afraid.
Yeah.
Because she took off once and was missing for 3 hours, and he doesn't want to experience that again. So his lovely home is, it's like his prison.
Yeah.
He can't leave her.
That's how it becomes, yeah. Yeah.
So Wendy, to answer your question, that's what I would like. I would like community public spaces be opened up and folks with dementia be welcomed into those spaces, and our Ministry of Health to fund staff and just think about supporting people in the communities that they already live in and have been paying taxes in forever.
Yeah, I don't think that sounds too far-fetched.
No.
Neither do I.
So that's something we could advocate for.
I mean, I compare that all the time to, new moms. Like, in a couple months, I'm going to be hatching this baby, and of course...
Did you say hatching?
Yeah, hatching. And, as new moms, doesn't matter if it's your first one, your second, your fourth, your sixth, you need support, and you need a break, and you need to be able to get out the house, and you need to be able to go and, do something outside of being mommy and milk machine and food and, you need a break. It's just human nature. You just need to be able to...
Which is why I want to start this foundation, because that's exactly the vision statement, right? Caregivers need a break.
Yeah, so I mean, just to add to what you said, Wendy, with my 4 kids, I went to the early years. I loved taking my kids to the early years, and that was where I got my break. I got to meet other moms. I got to see my kids interact.
Yeah.
They had a lot of great programs. It's free in all communities. And so why can't we have that for our aging population?
Yeah.
Cognitive challenges.
I agree.
Like, we already do it. We do it for new moms.
Yeah.
Why can't we do it for folks who are aging?
Yeah. 100%. Good point. Okay, so maybe that's something that we should absolutely look into and work on. I mean, with Karen, starting this foundation and everybody, putting great ideas like this together, this is what's going to make it amazing. This is what is going to make the difference between 18 years ago versus next year or the year after. There's going to be a substantial difference because there's people that are out there trying to find the solution.
Like Kalina said, it's cabin fever because she's looking after her grandmother. You do.
You're stuck
I
inside.
Know totally how that feels.
Yep.
Okay. Good.
So this is good. So of course we'll have you on again, Karen. We'll stay tuned.
Okay.
For the developments, and we're gonna really work on. This is not just this is not lip service. We're really gonna work on this. It's my passion. I have to see change. It's been too long. I can't believe it's still going on, but oh well. We'll have to do something about it.
Yes, this is a problem I don't want my children to have to deal with.
Yeah, me neither. Me neither.
Yeah, it has to get better.
Yeah.
And it will. It will. So we're grateful for you, calling in or being called and, sharing with us your experience. I'm sure, if it doesn't even just help us, it helps. There's so many others that are probably experiencing the same thing. So thank you for that.
And I put your testimonial in my book.
Oh, okay, good. Good, I'm glad. Can't wait to read it.
Oh, it's funny. Parts of it are funny.
I'm sure. All right, well, good night, ladies.
Okay,
good night, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was good.
That was really good.
And on that note, I wanted to also...
And informative. Sorry, what?
Well, we lost Aretha today. We lost Aretha Franklin.
I thought you were going to tell me something like, well...
What?
Well, okay,
I was going to tell you something what?
Like a personal loss.
It is a personal loss.
But do you know
huge
her?
Loss.
Did you know her personally?
Feel like I do. I grew up on her music.
Okay.
I mean, it's still sad. Sorry, does it have to be like frontline people in your family in order for you to be affected? In any case, we lost
Her music lives on.
Music icon
she's
today.
Legendary, so
No, and she was suffering. I hear that she passed from cancer. But I mean, again, 76 is a pretty good run. She had a good life.
Yeah.
And that
it was full.
Left a good legacy. So we say rest in power, Aretha. She will continue to...
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Yes. She paved the way for many. So in any case, next week, what are we touching on? Anybody else calling in?
I think Monique might call in. She said, and she's a caregiver to her daughter.
Her daughter has Alzheimer?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I just think it's still relevant because,
caregiver is
the
a caregiver.
caregiver is a caregiver. And it will give us a different perspective because very, very challenging. And Sharon, you always when's Sharon supposed to come on and talk about her experiences as well?
I don't know Sharon. But hi, Sharon.
Sharon is a colleague of mine. I used to work at the Region of Peel with her. But, yeah, Sharon, you just message me and let me know if you want to come on next week.
We'll make room for you on the couch. I'll just scoot over or scoot this way, and you can be right in the middle.
Yeah, you could. You can be in the middle. You can
like an Oreo cookie.
You can pass her, like, whatever she's snacking on.
I don't have snacks today. I just have water.
I bought her a McFlurry today.
It's in the freezer.
So.
I wasn't in the mood. But I will be. So.
For later.
It's all about timing.
Whatever. She goes, it's too cold. I don't feel like anything cold right now.
I want something salty, sourish. And then I dealt with water.
Agua.
When in doubt, reach for the water. Okay.
Okay, that was great. Thank you for tuning in. Till next week. Oh, it might have to be on the author page so that I could...
Why do you keep saying that and then that doesn't happen? What's happening with Facebook? You just can't boost it.
Yeah, like sometimes I boost the podcast so that it can reach more people. And I can't do it anymore from my page. I have to do it on my author page. But hopefully, maybe next week, maybe my book will be done.
So weird, though. Like, are you sure? Because I'm thinking maybe is it settings or something that you have? Like,
no, it just says you can't. You can't. You can only do it on your author page.
Odd.
Oh, Karen's calling back. I wonder if she remembered something. Did you remember something?
Hello?
We're still on. Did you remember something?
No. I'm not on now.
Okay, I'll call you back then.
Sorry.
Okay, bye.
Well then.
Okay.
You can't make this stuff up.
It's live.
Indirect.
Unscripted.
Can you bring candy next week?
You're putting in orders? It's whatever I feel like bringing.
But then it's whatever you feel like bringing might not be what I feel like eating.
Well, there's no Twizzlers, so that's off the list.
I'm Twizzlered out.
And I'm not bringing you sour suckers.
Why? Oh yeah, no, those sour keys are still in there. No.
Down.
You can take those back. I don't like those sour key things. I tried to. I was like, ugh.
No, your kids like it?
Bah.
You were like, what?
I just drooled. like them.
I don't eat them.
How did you get a big bag and then put like some in a Ziploc? Where's the rest of the bag?
It's not a bag. It was like from Costco, that thing, the container.
You bought an entire container full of those nasty.
Yeah. I do have a child.
Then you can give them back and put them back in the container.
That kid called Jalen,
He likes those things?
Yeah,
no, they're not even good. And I'm all about candy, but there's...
How about, do you like Werther's?
No. The Werther's... I mean, they just take too long. You have to keep sucking it and sucking it and sucking it, and it just doesn't go anywhere. It just stays the same.
Well, isn't that good? Then you're getting value for your money.
No. Sometimes you just want to just get in there.
Save your money. Okay, we digress, as usual.
I'm getting kicked in my spleen.
Because he knows. She or he knows.
Knows what? That those sour keys are nasty.
He's waiting for his auntie. And whatever.
Okay. Thank you for tuning in. Share.
Oh, Azura says hi.
I don't know who that is.
Karen's daughter.
Hi.
Oh, she's in the book too. Her testimonial. Do you even share? Yeah, you share. Can't lie. I'll tag you.
I'm not sharing this one.
Too late. You're gonna get tagged.
If you had brought candy, maybe I would.
I brought you a McFlurry. Oh my god.
Okay, I'll trade the McFlurry for like a sour bag of candies. Like the Starburst ones.
Okay, fine. All right, I'll get you.
You know, with the juicy middles.
There's
like
juicy middles.
Yeah, like you bite into it and there's like juice, and then you get to like finish the candy. There's a lot of stuff going on.
All right, I'll look for that.
Y'all.
I'll ask Willy Wonka.
I don't think he makes that.
I was being sarcastic.
No, but Willy Wonka makes nerds and sweet tarts.
How do you know this? Something is wrong with you. Something is wrong with you.
I read the packaging.
As you're squeezing up the bag. Correct this.
No, it's those sour ones with the sugar on the bottom of the bag. I cannot wait to get to the bottom of the bag just to eat the sugar.
Okay.
No, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I'll dump the candies out just so I can have like the little pile of sugar that's on the bottom of the bag.
Do you remember Fun Dip?
Yes.
That was my candy. Back in the day.
They sell that at Dollarama.
And to think about it, that was really nasty when you really think about it.
Don't ruin it for me.
No, but it is. It's nasty. Like you have to like.
It's just powder.
Yeah, but it's dumb.
I used to do that with the Nestle Quick. You know the chocolate milk.
Okay, yeah.
No, the hot chocolate, the powder.
Yeah.
I used with the tin. See, I'm salivating. So I would crack open the tin and I would take a spoon and I just go to town. I would go to town. Just lick.
Wouldn't your mouth be all like?
No.
You know?
And I feel like now that's exactly what I need to go get.
Like really, like you would just.
Yeah, but you do it bit by bit. You don't do it too much because if you do it too much, it's too dry, and then you don't have enough saliva.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah. So you have to you gotta, it's rations. It's bit by bit.
See, where would you get this education?
Everybody in our generation knows exactly what I'm talking about because everyone did it.
Clearly, we already established.
You're a closet, Nestle Quick person. I know you did. I know George and Marlene had the Nestle Quick in the cupboard. I know it.
You're forgetting part of my life was in Trinidad.
So?
I didn't drink milk.
You don't need milk for Nestle Quick. It was just instant. You could put it with water.
This is Trinidad.
Yeah. If you were high class and you had money, then you mix that stuff with milk.
No, you know what was the other one? How Now Brown Cow. What was that one? Is it Brown Cow?
Yeah.
That's the one I liked.
Yeah, because that was liquid.
Right.
I'm talking about the powder.
No.
The tin. The
It was the
Nestle
Brown Cow.
Quick tin.
It was Brown Cow.
You had to pry it open with a spoon or a screwdriver.
Not a screw. You're getting carried away. Tools. You needed tools. You needed a drill.
But everybody in our generation knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
You're acting like you don't.
The old tin thing.
Yes?
Yeah.
You take a spoon.
Yeah, before we moved, we had that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that tin. You used to eat the powder?
On the daily.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I used to get in trouble from my parents
Good.
all the time.
You needed good slaps for that.
But
That's
I did
ridiculous.
business. That stuff was so good.
I can imagine you getting caught and all your teeth are... No. And still lying. No. All your teeth are brown.
My brother used to, like, tell on me. Yeah, he used to rat me out, guy. It's so bad. But anyway, I used to enjoy it. I'd hide it in my room and stuff. It was pretty intense.
Something's wrong. How about the strawberry one?
I wasn't as crazy for the strawberry one. The chocolate one was the dip.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Good to know.
Okay. That's a wrap. You guys have a great week. Thank you for watching, sharing, connecting, commenting, all of that jazz. Let us know how we can assist or help.
Oh, and we're working on some water bottles. What are they called? Swell? Anywho. For the foundation. So they're going to have the logo on it. So hopefully that will be ready soon too.
Word up, homie G. You guys have a great week. We'll see you next week. Bye.